for the cooling system, not the undercar. It's the same thing as doing a burnout. Cars get cooled underneath, that's why they catch fire so easy. Well, this is our latest R&D project. 1970 Mustang fitted with a supercharged 5 litre Coyote and a 6R80 automatic transmission. We've had a couple of steep learning curves with this unit, in particular to do with the drive shaft, and we'll explain that when we look at the underside of the vehicle. So the next thing, I'll show you all the components that we've developed in conjunction with a couple of other companies to make this all possible. So we have a two-piece tail shaft fitted to this vehicle. Now there's really good reasons that we fitted a two-piece. When you have an overdrive transmission, and depending on the rear gear ratio and the RPM capacity of the motor, your tail shaft speed can go really high. It can be 8,000, 9,000 RPM. Now it's not the horsepower that kills a tail shaft typically, it's actually speed, RPM. So when you get a tail shaft this length, and you have to have a slip yoke in it because it's a 6R80 or a ZF 6-speed auto, the tail shaft weight goes up. Even with a Kevlar tail shaft, carbon fibre, or an aluminium one, the weight of it still is very high. So when you do the calculations, you find out the only way to get the weight down and to get the speed up without a tail shaft failure is to put a two-piece shaft in. So we'll show you the actual RPM weight calculation. This is a set thing that's been in the industry for a long time. We didn't realise that this is so critical with this type of transmission and gearbox combination. So we found a few other things along the way. We have to have a centre bearing. The angles of the drive shaft have to be set. So we made a spigot arrangement to be able to perfectly get the centre bearing in the right position. Then we made a cross member mount that's reinforced into the floor. This actually adds additional structural strength. It also adds some safety, like a safety loop. So then we've got the back half of the tail shaft. Now, so we've got a lot of assistance from the guys at Propeller Shaft Services. They helped us design the centre bearing and two-piece shaft and get all the technical data together and correct parts to make this 6R80 to a 9-inch swap possible. Another unique design part of this vehicle that makes it possible to do a Coyote swap is the fuel delivery system. Now, a Coyote normally has a non-return fuel system. In other words, it has a speed controlled fuel pump. That won't work in an engine swap into a vintage vehicle like this. So it needs a return system. It needs to be designed in such a way that it's got enough fuel delivery to be able to feed the VMP supercharger. It has to be constructed in a legal manner to be compliant for a roadworthy, also to be safe, and E85 compatible, so that if we do put alcohol fuel in it to get max power out of the motor, it's not going to corrode or damage any of the fuel componentry. So let's run through what Jack from Earls Plumbing has helped us do. And now, as a result of this R&D exercise, he also can provide a do-it-yourself kit to be able to replicate what we've done. This is a fuel filter from Earls. You can see it's a fully serviceable unit, big capacity, and it has the right micron filters and seals inside it to be alcohol friendly and to make it fully serviceable, so you don't have to buy a whole new filter again. all the lines are properly mounted with the proper spacing between them so that it's all secure. And as we go through the rest of the fuel system, you'll see some of the other unique components that Jack has supplied for this fuel conversion. Okay, now hidden behind the motor over here is a fuel pressure regulator. Now this is not a normal fuel regulator. It has a vacuum port that detects boost, so it adjusts the fuel pressure in the system according to throttle position and boost. It adjusts the fuel flow so that the whole system is getting the right amount of fuel no matter what the engine is doing. By doing that, it regulates the fuel and returns the excess fuel back to the motor. So now it is a return system. So I'll show you inside the trunk. So you can see our fuel main delivery here, our return. We're about to plumb in an air vent, and we have an in-tank pump with a swirl pipe built in, so no more issues of surge. Coming back around here, so you can see the business end of this. It's chock-a-block with containers, hoses and wiring. The reason for that is really simple. We've got an electric power steer pump reservoir, the electric power steer pump underneath the vehicle, because these motors don't normally come with a power steer pump on them. We've got a special reservoir for the intercooler for the supercharger, and that's mounted in the front here, the intercooler, the twin fans. Got to make sure they're pushers, not pullers, if you're mounting the fans in front. Also adequate airflow. So we've got a transmission cooler, we've got our radiator, aluminium cord radiator, our header tank, which has to be mounted nice and high so that you can get all the suds out of the engine, so you've got no air pockets in them. All of this plumbing, again, was done by Jack at Earls, and he can provide you with all the necessary components to be able to replicate what we've done. Then we've got the air intake. Big breathing motor needs a big breathing air intake. So we've used the original supplied VMP intake. Fortunately, all of that is fitted into this area, but then we had the added problem of having an air box that is serviceable and legal. So that's a sealed air box with a duct that we've made to come behind the headlight and through the grill vent. To be able to fit this big motor in, because it is a physically large engine, you need as much clearance as possible. So we've mounted our underdash brake booster into the vehicle, and these are the remote reservoirs. Now, depending on the state that you're in or jurisdiction of roadworthy, you may require clear reservoirs to be able to sight the fluid. Normally we supply a billet reservoir, but you do need to check on which is the most important to be legal. So then on top of that, all this wiring. So we bought a Ford Racing wiring harness compatible with the 6R80. Computer's mounted on the firewall for easy access. You can unscrew that and take it out. The wiring harness goes through the firewall so that there's a main fuse and relay pack that's mounted inside, and a simple 3-wire system to actually be able to trigger and start the engine, which we've shown you previously. So that's all been amalgamated now into the original wiring harness, and uniquely to this vehicle, it's right-hand drive. So all of those conversion pieces have all been made to facilitate a right-hand drive conversion. Right-hand drive wipers, right-hand drive steering, brakes, all the rest of it. So now we have cooling, power steering, electric, fuel, this completes the Coyote swap, and this is part of what we do as an R&D exercise to make all of this work and be serviceable. The most important thing for a road car is that once it's out on the road and you've got your yearly service up, anybody can do it. One other feature that we put into this, which is a little awkward on this one but necessary, remote oil filter. For clearance underneath, we found that we didn't have enough room for the standard housing that's mounted on the side of the Coyote, and this is a common problem of where you're going to mount that oil filter. So we'll show you that in detail on the Maverick project. Also, this has had AC fitted to it. So all the AC plumbing, again, performed by Jack at Earls. You'll see it goes through a bulkhead fitting down here in the corner. This is a bulkhead fitting to keep it simple and sealed to the firewall. Okay, so to make it possible to put a Coyote engine in one of these early model vehicles, one of the critical things is getting the drivetrain angle right. We pointed that out with the tail shaft earlier. So it means extensive modification to the transmission tunnel for the big transmission. This applies to a 5 or a 6-speed manual, also a 6R80, 4R70, ZF 6-speed auto, to a certain extent the VTR gearbox. So all of those transmissions are quite large and they do require transmission tunnel surgery. So we've used the original Mustang gear shifter, which is cable mounted, to be able to fit all of this in and make it serviceable. Of course, it's got our underdash brake booster, very busy over here. Our OBD port and light are about to be mounted. This is so that it can be tuned. And today's the day that it gets dyno tuned, so we get to find out the numbers. The numbers are very important. So all of this is in its semi-finished state because we've still got upholstery to go. We've got our drive-by-wire pedal mounted, so it's all in the correct position with the right throw. Our AC unit, so it's serviceable, all mounted, ducted to screen vents, side vents, centre vent and a floor vent. So it's a fully functioning modern unit with proper capacity wiring all the way through, a main fuse box holder that makes it all serviceable and marked fuses for maintenance. But before we go any further, how good are these wheels? They suit this car. Supplied by American Legend. You can get them in all sorts of configurations, 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece, to suit a vintage vehicle. I know wheels are a matter of taste, but I love these wheels. These are the choice of wheels that we put on all of our R&D cars. One of the best things about these wheels, you can get them in all different sizes, and you got to have fat tyres. Just a little taster. Good on this side, Ben. Ben, where's it going, buddy?
Off to the dyno.
So it's going off to Intune dyno tuning. John's going to work his magic, get some power numbers for us, and we're ready for driving.